I now have great pleasure in announcing Ms. Raksha Mahtani from Spain. She's been an active member of the Sathya organisation there since 2000, serving at both centre and national levels, including the National Council President. At present, she is the Zonal Youth Coordinator of Zone 6, South Europe. She's also the International Coordinator of the Global Service Project, Serve the Planet. Please welcome Raksha Mahtani. Thank you.
I would like to begin by expressing my heartfelt and profound gratitude to our dearest Sathya, who constantly guides us, and he guides us to discover the eternal and everlasting source of love and wisdom that resides within each and every one of us. Respected elders, distinguished guests, dearest Sai family, loving greetings to all of you. Swami's teachings are universal. His message of love has a huge impact, not only on Sai devotees, but it has a huge impact also and is of great benefit for the whole world. I have the precious opportunity of working as a teacher for the last 11 years and applying the Sathya Sai Education in Human Values program based on the philosophy of educare. As Swami says, educare means to bring out what we have within. Working with 5- and 6-year-old children mainly, I asked Swami, how can I help them to bring out what they already have within? The answer clearly came. It was not through imposition, but rather through intuition and inspiration. I firstly understood that I have to have the deep trust that this knowledge really does, it's already there within them. And I just had to create the right environment of love for them to bring this out. So I started believing in the art of self-inquiry, through questions that help us go within. Every year for the last 11 years, I invite the children when we start the year to close their eyes. I invite them to close their eyes and I say, let us close our eyes so that we can begin to see. One of the children always asks me, did you say close our eyes to begin to see? And I say, yes. Sometimes I have to share that there are some things that I can only see when I close my eyes. So then I asked them to imagine a huge, beautiful tree. I asked them to close their eyes and imagine this beautiful tree. And when they open their eyes, I asked them to share the different parts of the tree that they have seen. When we open our eyes, some of them start describing these different parts. Some of them might say the tree trunk, the branches, the flowers, the leaves. Then I invite them to close their eyes again, and I say, maybe this time we can think about something that exists in the tree, but maybe we do not see with our eyes. Immediately, one of them will say, Ms. Raksha, the roots. Then I ask them, what is the most important part of the tree for you? One might say it's the tree trunk because it's the biggest part, but most of them will say, Ms. Raksha, it is the roots. And then I ask them, how can the roots be so important if we don't even see them? And they say, well, even though we do not see them, we know that this is what holds and sustains the tree. My next question is, and is there anything inside of us that we may not see with our eyes, and that is very important? Immediately, they all jump to their heart. So I asked them, and why is our heart so important? The clear answer is, well, we can love with our heart. These are just 5- and 6-year-old children. Then I asked them, And can you describe someone with a big heart? Immediately they start naming words like this person would be helpful, someone who is kind, someone who is generous, someone who shares. And all of these, I ask them, do you know all these words have a name? And they say, what name is Raksha? And I say, well, we can call them values. And they say, oh, we have heard this word, but we didn't really understand what it meant. But coming from them, they understood and they helped me understand that from our heart we have all these treasures that can stem and can blossom. So I invite them on an adventure every year to discover these treasures together. Swami's teachings are so practical. They can be applied in every single field. And as a teacher, when I have to teach the subject of science, I would like to share when we were learning about reversible and irreversible reactions. I took in a cube of ice and an orange. So I asked them when the cube of ice was melting, this ice is melting, would this be a reversible or an irreversible reaction? Immediately they said, well, of course I explained what reversible and irreversible meant. They said, well, if we take this water and put it back into the freezer, it would turn back into ice. So this is a reversible reaction. I said, what about if I peel this orange? Is this reversible or irreversible? They said, well, you can try to put the peel back, the skin back, but it will never be the same. So then I jumped into asking them, what about our actions? Are our actions reversible or irreversible? One of them said, well, once we do something, if it's not really the right thing, we can say sorry, but the action itself is irreversible. What about our words? They said, once you say something, you cannot take the words back. The words are irreversible. When I asked them, what about our thoughts? Are our thoughts reversible or irreversible? It was very beautiful because one of the little children, Alice, she stood up and she said, Miss Raksha, thoughts are reversible. She said this morning when Carla, another student, she said, remember Carla had brought in beautiful markers, shiny, glittery markers. And Alice said in front of everyone, you know, Miss Raksha, when I saw these markers, I thought, when no one's looking, when Miss Raksha's not looking, I will go to Carla's bag. I will take these markers and put them in my bag. So she was brave enough to share this thought in front of everyone. She said, but then you know what, Ms. Raksha? I remembered the human values circuit. We call Swami's head, heart, hand, the human values circuit. She said, so I thought this with my head, but then I asked my heart, will this really make me happy? She said, well, my heart said, yes, you would be happy when you're at home with these new colors. But then I asked my heart, will this make Carla happy? And my heart said, no, it will not. So guess what my hands did, Miss Raksha? And we went to Carla's bag. Carla looked into her bag and she said, my colors are still in here. And Alice said, yes, because the value circuit was not completed. So because my heart disapproved this decision, I did not carry it out with my hands. So it's really beautiful to see how they take these teachings back home, and head, heart, hand is part of their daily life decision-making process as well as mine. I would like to share a final experience with all of you related to when Swami left his physical body. When Swami left his physical body, as you may remember, it happened during Easter holidays. So as a teacher, I was on holiday, and we were in the center singing, praying, and just all together united. When I went back to school the first day, I did feel something was different, but I wasn't really sure what it was. When I walked into the classroom, the thought I had was, Swami, this is the first time I'm going to share all these divine treasures you have taught me without you being there. I was amazed at this thought because I said, without you being there? But Swami is there. But I just observed this thought. When I walked into the classroom, the children looked at me. They hugged me after a long period of holidays, and we all sat down. When we were sitting down, we started talking about their holidays, and one little girl looked at me and she said, Miss Raksha, you look a little different today. I said, do I? She said, yes, you look a little sad, but it's not a normal kind of sadness. You really look, I don't know, it's a strange sadness, I would say. So this is a 5-year-old telling me this. And I said, well, and when they were relating things about their holidays, they were talking about values, about Swami's teachings and how they apply them in their daily lives and take them back home. And I shared with them, I said, you know, this little girl's name is Carolina. And I said, you know, Carolina, actually, maybe you've seen something I haven't seen. Maybe I am a little bit sad. Because you know all these beautiful things that you say we learned together? Well, actually, I have learned them as well from a very special teacher. And this teacher no more lives physically. So she said, oh, so your teacher has died. Oh, now I understand. You're sad about that, aren't you? She said, we would be sad if you died as well. So I said, okay. And then she said, wait a minute, Miss Raksha, did I get this right? And she stood up in front of everyone and she said, did you say that everything that you teach us, you have learned from your teacher? I said, yes, that's what I just said. She said, wait a minute, Miss Raksha. That means that we have learned nothing from you. Everything we have learned from him. This took me back to my initial thought where I had thought, Swami, this is the first time I'm going to share what you have taught me without you being here. And the answer I got was, I've always been with you, I am with you, and I will be with you. I feel very blessed to share these teachings with the little children because it shows me how practical they are, how universal they are, and how it really is a part of our daily lives. And I just pray to Swami that we can all be tuned instruments. I play the guitar and I realize how bad it sounds when it's untuned, when it's out of tune. So I think we're the same. When we're out of tune, we really do not sound very good. So I would really pray to Swami that, I'd just like to share that in Serve the Planet, I got one quotation in the service we carried out, and the quotation was, there are two ways of spreading light. One is to be the candle, and the other is to be the mirror to reflect it. I pray to Swami that we all may be mirrors to reflect the light of his candle. Sai Ram.